Today we're heading to the four corners of Jackson's Point to meet with Edith Kozma, owner of the Quilting Gnome, to learn about what it takes to run a successful retail shop. I'm Caird Urquhart, and this is Georginapreneur.
Hi, my name is Edith Kozma. I'm the owner of the Quilting Gnome in Jackson's Point. We're located at 2100 Metro Road North, right at the corner of Dalton Road and Metro Road, Units 7 and 8, and it's a pleasure to be here. We have a quilting business. We're a one-stop destination. From purchasing your fabrics to making your quilt to having them quilted. It's a total one-stop business that you can get it all done at once. We offer classes and support and consultations to help you get there. Having your quilt quilted, once you've pieced everything, there's a finishing process, what we call sandwich a quilt. So we put the batting, the backing, and we quilt a design on it. So we have a computer-generated machine that can do that. We also have a rental in the store here that you can come and finish quilts yourself. We then help you with putting the binding on and getting you finished so that you can send your quilt and give it to someone special. I moved up here in 2006. I was a quilter when I came from the city up to here, and I was looking for a spool of thread, some fabrics to create things, and found out that any place around was 50 kilometers either towards Newmarket or Lindsay, that it was a niche item that we needed in this town, that we couldn't buy a spool of thread or a zipper in Georgina. My whole expectation here was that I wanted to have products available for people that could shop in our own town. So originally we opened on Lake Drive. We outgrew the space that we had there. Business has been fabulous for us and we've got quite a following. We moved into the plaza here. So out front parking for everyone was a criteria. In the building, it was an old Mac's Milk store that was here. So we did do some renovations in here. We put in new flooring. A coat of paint always makes everything lovely. And once you start hanging beautiful quilts, it's really easy. We also had to look at putting in a heating system. So we put in gas furnace and air conditioning in here and had to update a bathroom that was in here as well. So the town was very instrumental in helping us. We attended a York Region meeting for small business startups that we found was very interesting and helped us a lot. Karen Stone, the economic development manager for Georgina, had been very helpful with us as well in including us in the BIA to get into the community and other businesses to network. We also were very, very lucky that we were included in any of the town events and also through their website that you could find us and people were here for destination. We have many town people who are here as well, who have taken many classes here and been very helpful in sharing our joy.
Hi, welcome to the show, everyone. I'm here today with my guest, Edith Kozma, at the Quilting Gnome in Jackson's Point. I'm really, really happy to have you on the show today, Edith. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, I've been coming into your store over the years, and I made a quilt a long time ago, one of those scarecrow quilts, and that was probably the easiest one to make, but you've got beautiful things here in the store. How did this start for you back in the day?
Well, I would say my mom was a huge influence on my decision to be here. She was a great quilter. She did beautiful work. As small children, we were sitting on her knee at a frame hand quilting. She was a great piecer and a perfectionist at what she did.
That's really cool. So it really started for you at a really, really young age. And there's a big gap between now and then. What else did you do in life? How did you get to this place?
Well, I worked for a major retail company as a sales manager for many years there, 25 years, and was a social worker as well, and decided I wanted another career change, and here I am today.
That's amazing. Would you mind sharing with us, like, at what age you made that shift?
Yeah, I was about 48 years old at that point. I mean, for me, my mortgage was paid off and everything, and I could really do what I wanted to do as opposed to what I had to do for payments of life challenges, So it was good.
It's sort of a real full circle moment for you, back from when you were a kid and ending up in the place where you started. And then from a financing perspective, you put your own money into the shop.
Yes, yeah. So we basically opened with my own personal investment. Good for us. There were no loans, no grants. We opened our doors, and really it's our business. It's 100% our business and Canadian owned, and we do try to put a lot of Canadian content in with what we have here. So there's a lot of great artists in the area, and that we should promote our homegrown. So it's nice,
Absolutely.
nice to have.
Yeah, that's great. On that note, you have a lot of offerings that you have here at the store, classes, etc. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we do classes. We're doing off-site now, and we do in Bellhaven Community Center, not far from the store here. We're about 10 kilometers. We do about 20 people that we can bring into a class. We do a project, or what we call just a sit and sew. A lot of people just like the social element of it and want to come and just be with others and sew. And we have 2 instructors who are there to help. Both of us have over 50 years experience in quilting, so we have somewhat of a good knowledge.
I would say it's a great knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, when people come in
Yes.
and they have no clue what they're doing, you can take them from A, B to C, right?
Yes, and we like to promote a lot locally as well too. So, not only classes, we have outbound projects that we do. We do bus tours that come in here. There are, times that we join up with 5 other stores in the area, and we have over 200 people on buses that come through, and it's a full day. And
great.
they're on a time schedule as buses.
I'm going to have to cut you off at the buses because we have to cut to commercial. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with our lovely guest, Edith Kozma, and we were talking about the bus loads of people that come in here. Maybe you could elaborate and let me know, where are these people coming from?
Well, we outbound market between 5 stores. So Cookstown, Barrie, Aurelia, Lindsay, and our store, and Newmarket. And each store has a bus with 55 people on it, and they just rotate for the entire day. So we pretty much have about 250 people that come through the store in one day in about 8 hours. So
that's amazing.
Yes.
And we're also bringing all those people into the town too. So how does that work with other shops?
Well, it's great because we are responsible for one of the bus's lunches. So we have one of the local restaurants that cater and do our lunch here for us and supply snacks and a lot of shopping, and it's good. And while they're here shopping, they do other, they can walk about town while they're here. They're here for a segmented amount of time, and they can walk through town and do other businesses as well. So it does bring footsteps and into the economy for sure for everyone.
Which is amazing, right? I mean,
Yes.
you're bringing in these busloads and then they filter out and all the other stores feed off of each other, and that's fantastic. It speaks to community effort, right? And I know you're really, really involved in the community. Can you tell me some of the programs that you do out of here?
Yeah, we do a lot of the community. So we do like an outreach. We do for River Glen retirement home as well, to community living. The local quilt guild in town as well also does a huge outreach. program that they do here, and it's just great for everybody. It's really, nobody really comes in and does something for themselves. They're always making for others or for someone special or for a special occasion. So it's really a great industry to be in for sure, because it's all about the love. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really neat. You were mentioning to me earlier before we started taping that, like, the whole idea of the quilts being, on someone's bed, or it's like a little hug. I mean, I think you said you were working with the Indigenous folks. You were working
yes.
with, during COVID, you were helping people. Can you elaborate on any of that a little bit?
Yeah,
Because it's
so
really, really
when the
nice.
pandemic had hit, we were making gowns en masse for River Glen, who were, severely looking for supplies were limited. So we were able to do that. We were able to open up and do a lot of the masking and making of masking, or people who were mass producing, making masking as well too. So to supply a lot of the ingredients that were needed, and that was wonderful for us. There was, when I first opened, a huge fire that happened on Dalton Avenue, and 100 people lost their homes. Sleep Country Canada donated beds and sheets, and we put a quilt on every single bed for all the customers. 14 years later, we still have customers coming back that still have them and are still overjoyed and very touched by the kindness of the community. It wasn't one person. It takes a village sometimes to make things happen. And it was a simple email that went out that we were asking people if they could help. We would donate the time doing the quilting end of it, but it was piecing and doing binding and things and getting them ready for everybody. And the community stepped right up without questions asked. Nobody said, I don't want to do this. This is too much work. It was done in a very loving and giving manner.
Well, and quilts last forever. That's the beauty of them, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just that thing you cherish
Yes.
until the
And
end
every
of time.
quilt has a story.
Yes.
People who received those quilts 14 years ago are still talking about it. And, at a very tragic time in their life that they, lost a lot of things and lost everything, that it was something new that they could have in a new beginning. So.
Right. And then when you moved, because you weren't originally in this location, right?
Yes, we were in a location on Lake Drive,
Yeah.
in a small house with a little porch, and business grew. We outgrew the space, and we, were looking around for another establishment to go and house us, and something all on one level. And when it was time to move, we were looking at, how do you move? You've got to pack up everything. Well, it was like an assembly line. I had many customers who just pulled their vehicles up to the front of the store, and we took all the fabric, loaded it in the back of someone's car, drove it over and unpacked it. So we virtually cleaned out a store and moved it in 45 minutes from everybody, just as an assembly line.
That's
so
amazing to me.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah. 45 minutes.
Yes, 45 minutes to empty a store, drive it over, and unpack. So we had a good, and they were in here like just unpacking, bringing it back. We didn't have to pack anything in boxes. It was just, shifting them all in trucks or anything. So, and all fixturing and everything, like no questions asked. They were just doing like a loop around. It was like a little parade.
But yet it speaks a lot to, like what goes around comes around, right?
Yes.
I mean, you do a lot of work here with the community, the
Yes.
give back that you just spoke to, and then the community showed up when you needed them
Yes.
to move from location 1 to location 2.
Yes.
Which is really beautiful, a beautiful thing, right?
And I'll have to say, like, quilters really are very giving, kind people. It's I noticed, like, in classes, someone, I broke a needle, and then like 10 packages of needles come flying to someone. I have one here, have one, I've got one, so it's so nice to see. They're very sharing and very giving and knowledgeable. And I think that's important, that, really it is a trade, and that people share their information. It's not just like, well, I know how to do it, and, that's too bad, you should go take a class. They're very willing to share information and help people. And, not everybody's good at a color you know, so sometimes you have to find things that is your strength, and, you know, not every single quilt is beautiful, and you have to sometimes realize that, you know, at the
I don't
end
want to
of,
be the person telling the person that that's not a good quilt.
no, at the end of the day, you know, you're struggling to get this done,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's, we're here to help. I mean, that's exactly
Well,
how
I think
it is.
it's you, like you have created this. I mean, I'm sure quilters in general are nice people, but I think you personally, the sense I get, have really created community. You've really created not just a quilting store where you buy stuff. You've created a whole community. I don't even know what the right word is, but it's like there's a whole vibration that comes out of this store that comes from you. And if I may, I'm going to say that it probably started back on your mother's knee, and
Yes.
from there forward, here you
Yes.
are, right?
Yes.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm going to break for just a second. We'll come back and chat more, but we're going to cut to commercial for just a second.
I was at a point in my life where, you know, mortgage was paid off. It was time to find something to do that I wanted to do, as opposed to working towards something you had to do.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here at the Quilting Gnome with Edith Kozma, and I wanted to ask you, because my experience has been most entrepreneurs have had some moment in their life that either triggered the change to go into creating their own thing, or struggles in their life that have educated them to help them run their business. Because it's not easy being an entrepreneur. You're doing everything yourself to begin with, right? Is there something in your life that you could share with us that's like that?
I would say one of the struggles, I am not from Georgina. I'm originally from Scarborough. I moved up here, and I loved quilting, was doing quilting things, looking for a spool of thread in Georgina, and could not find a spool of thread in Georgina. I went Eudora all the way through, and, you know, Newmarket or Lindsay really were the two closest stores that I could find thread to sew. So that was one of my ambitions here, was no zippers, no buttons, no thread, no fabric. So that was one of the things that inspired me to start here. I was at a point in my life where, you know, mortgage was paid off. It was time to find something to do that I wanted to do, as opposed to working towards something you had to do. So it was decided to take the plunge, and my sister, who was a great, you know, financial backer of what had to be done, just said, get in there and get going and just do it, you know. So
She was a real advocate for you.
she absolutely was. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's the sense of family as well, too, because in small business, you tend to depend on anybody that can help you along the way and mentor you. And it's great.
On that note, did you have specific mentors in your life?
I met with an accountant in town, Duncan Goodwin, before we had actually even opened, and had a good 2-hour consultation with him about the realms of business. Nice that he also has a marketing background as well too, which was very helpful for me. And he, you know, strongly recommended that I go and go forward, and, you know, just roll up your sleeves, dig in, and get going.
That's terrific. So the accountant and your sister were the two that
Yes.
pushed you over the hump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's good having, you know, also my partner is have, you know, support 100% behind, and you know what, it's time for you to go and do what you want to do. So, and it's great, and the support of the community as well too.
Right.
You know, as soon as I open my doors, I will say I've, you know, never had a day that someone wasn't coming through and you know, wanting to do and to create. I mean, that's
every entrepreneur's dream, is that
Yes.
the day you open your doors, there's
Yes.
somebody coming through.
Yes.
That's amazing.
No.
And I think it's really key that you mentioned the point about your partner at home, because if you run your own business, it is a 24/7 operation always. It's always in your head, lying in bed, sleeping, whatever. You're always thinking about it, right? And if your partner that you live with isn't supportive of that, it can be very difficult. So, I mean, it's a key point that you mentioned that partnership is very important when you're creating your own business.
And it's very true. It's a work balance, and you have to learn that. I did not learn that in the beginning, for sure. I 7 days a week, 14-hour days, and I learned that. One good thing that came out of the pandemic is that, it's important to have that balance now, and that it's not all about, 24 hours a day, and that there are other factors in life as well, too. And that's the hard part. You have to reinvent yourself through, through 14 years. We've gone through recessions, pandemics, high interest rates, and it's been a challenge, and you have to learn to adapt, and you have to learn trends, and knowing that all your purchasing and buying is 6 months out. So you're hoping that what you're going to buy is not the dead dog, but you're going to hope that it's, going to be something that's going to, run in and go out. And, we've been very fortunate. We are widely known in the industry as the blue store, so blue fabric, blue anything, or a lot of, because of our name, the Quilting Gnome, that everyone is looking for gnome fabrics. They collect it, they want.
It is a real brand you've created, which is amazing.
Yes.
That's fantastic. It takes years to create a brand and 6 seconds to ruin it, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, you've done a great job of really creating that stability in that brand. What advice would you give to other entrepreneurs coming up in any industry, not just in the quilting world? But
I think it's very important to stay current. We create programs here, so we have like what we call a block of the month program, and you can build a whole quilt in a year. You do it one block at a time.
Oh, okay.
And we start in January. We have people from all over that come. We either do mail outs for them, or they come to the store and pick up. And it's great because that's footsteps in here. And when they're in here, they're looking at new fabric. So it's a great way of doing different sales in that. We do 2 a month, one that we create exclusively. So it's our own design, own pattern. And the other one is usually just a pieced pattern that we do of someone, and then you pick the color and go from there. So it's a lot of fun setting it all up, and it's less overwhelming than getting this box with all this fabric.
Starting small.
Yes, you're getting a little block.
Little bit. So it's a teaching piece.
Yes.
Which also adds to your marketing, I'm sure. Like
Absolutely.
Like you said, getting people through the door. Are there other ways that you market your business?
Yeah, we do shop hops as well too. So we, which is great. We create and design a quilt, and every store has a piece of the puzzle, and you get to travel, around the, all across the roads and everything. And it's about a 250-kilometer run that you can do in 3 days, and that's a great adventure for us as well, bringing footsteps. We're really a destination store, and you're on a journey between each one.
I love that you say footsteps. I'm going to use that now. I love that word. It brings footsteps into the.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Can you just fast forward for a second and just like on a finishing note, maybe tell us what you see as the future of your business?
Well, hopefully we'll sustain. Definitely programming is one of our important, and giving back to the community. I mean, it's, you can't always be the company that takes. It's nice to be able to give back. And I think that's the one thing that I have learned, that quilters definitely are generous people. They're kind. And, any cause, it doesn't matter.
You've got the give back part down. It was a pleasure to be here with you today.
Well,
I really enjoyed learning more about your store and about you.
Thank you very much. And I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you coming today, and hope
great.
that everybody comes and enjoys the experience.
They will. They will. Thank you for joining us today. Come down to the Gnome.